So, hi, church family. It's Tuesday, a new week, a week that's beginning after Easter, and just kind of thinking about Sunday and all the things that we got to do to celebrate, to enjoy, to put some perspective on life that's going on right now. This Sunday, actually, we're going to lay aside our John series, and I'm actually going to talk about our world right now, the things that we're involved in. I've been thinking about that, and just kind of we haven't really addressed it. I was kind of staying in John leading up to Easter, and now that we've done that, I want to take a break because the world is changing and it's different. And I was actually listening to Brene Brown's podcast, Unlocking Us, and she talked about the idea that when a crisis hits, we get that adrenaline rush, and it helps us deal with things in that crisis moment and that crisis time, and it carries through. But there's not enough adrenaline to go to the very end, especially with the COVID-19. It's carrying on a long time, and it will carry on a long time, and so we need to adjust our thinking and how do we work our way through some of those things. And so I want to help us look at that. Been reading some things about Permission to Feel is another book I've been reading. And how do we learn to walk in the dark and walk with God in the dark? I was thinking about that, and then I'm coming to this and knowing that I'm going to be doing this video and just listening to some music. And in the song Jesus Firm Foundation, one of the verses, the chorus says this: how firm our foundation, how sure our salvation, and we will not be shaken, Jesus firm foundation. And then the third verse, it says, the soul that is trusting in Jesus as Lord will press on, enduring the darkest of storm, and though even hell should endeavor to shake, he'll never, no, never, no, no, never forsake. And I'm thinking about that, and as I said, thinking about Sunday and preparing, and then my devotions today. God took me to Exodus chapter 33, verse 14, and it's Moses in the midst of saying, God, where are you? I need to know that you're with me, and God's already revealed Himself to Moses in some pretty incredible ways and shown His power. But what does Moses ask for? He asked to know that God is present. And the Lord replied in Exodus 33:14, my presence will go with you, and I will give you rest. My presence. I often talk about the need of just knowing that God is with us and His presence is real. And so I'm thinking about all of those things put together and where our world is right now and how do we walk with God. And these are some of the things I'm actually going to be addressing on Sunday. And I just wanted to give it a chance to maybe warm it up a little bit, to have you start thinking about what do we do in the longevity of all this. Today I'm at home working from home. We've got a board meeting tonight, um, going to do the Zoom conferencing thing. I get to sit in my backyard as I'm thinking a setting that's kind of peaceful back here, a little bit out of the world, out of the way, and and just thinking about all of that and where's God taking us? How do we know of that presence and then live in the comfort of that presence when there's so much that is going on, and yes, we're kind of past that very crisis moment when we have absolutely no clue what's going on or how to deal with it, but now we're getting into how do we deal with it long term. How do we hold on to the presence of Jesus long term? How does that affect my life today when I'm losing my job or my hours are cut or I just got laid off or I can't go see my closest friends? And there are all those real valid concerns. And how we feel about it is valid. And so I just want to encourage you a little bit today as we keep moving forward through this time. We are a church family. We get to help each other. We get to work with each other. We want to connect with each other. We appreciate you guys. I know a lot of you are doing a number of things that are really being connecting into our community, into to people that need to know that they are not alone, and we want to keep that connection. Um, we want to keep building on those things. So I'm actually going to ask you to pray for me, for us as a team, as we try and figure out how do we keep moving forward in these things. Um, there are a number of things that we were working on, and now we're just pushing them up farther and faster because it's so much needed right now. And so we're going to be putting out a new website very soon. We're going to be starting a different kind of format for our small groups, and Kamal is working on that. We're going to roll that out probably in June rather than when we were talking in September. And we're doing all these things to encourage each other, to help each other, and you'll be hearing more about that as we move forward. Um, but today I just wanted you to know that you can cling to God's presence, that He is real, and He hasn't left us. And as we go through this time, what does that mean, and how do we do it? How do we be true, and how do we be real? How do we be authentic as we continue to place our hope in this future reality of being present with God in heaven, but His presence is so real right now. So I want to encourage you today. Just read Exodus 33 and get the feeling of where Moses is, and know that God is present. And know that we think about you guys. We pray for you. We want to continue to interact. Um, we said that our next series I wanted to do some answering of questions that people have, the things that are on your heart. I've only gotten 4 questions at this point, so if you have some questions and wondering, please email me, don@richmondbaptist.com. You can also text me 778-998-4465, and yeah, and I'll try and reply. I will reply, and we'll be connected that way. So, you know, God bless you as you go into this week, as we continue to be compassionate with each other, to love on each other, um, to show each other who Jesus is and the reality of that presence we can cling to. So have a blessed week.